College basketball and the NBA collide tonight. Not a huge card in the NBA in particular either in college basketball. As we told you multiple times, the Atlantic Sun is kicking off March Madness with their conference tournament, but we got some big doings, particularly in the Big 12. If we take a look at the standings here, Joe Ranieri, Houston Cougars at a 13-3 number sit there up by one game over the Iowa State Cyclones, followed by the Baylor Bears, who are 3 games back at 10-6. The one thing we do know, the Big 12 is a really good and deep conference here. So anything above 500, probably in conference play, is going to get you into March Madness. Interesting game tonight between Texas and Baylor. If we set the table for this one, you take a look at the FanDuel Sportsbook opening this number at -6.5 and still sitting there this morning. A total which opened up at 146.5, now down to 144.5. My favorite play on Friday, even though it was for a Saturday game, obviously no early line on Saturdays, my best bet was Baylor to handle their business over Kansas, and they did that. They were at home, so they don't have to travel in a quick turnaround here, taking on Texas. Any looks from you tonight as Baylor is a 6.5-point favorite over the Longhorns here?
Yeah, so Texas is just not. They're not in the same category as the Baylor Bears here. I mean, Scott Drew and this team here, 5th in the nation in adjusted offensive efficiency. They're just loaded with quality guards, which absolutely matters come March Madness here. They also are pretty physical down low. So they are built to be able to adjust and be able to play with anybody here, not to mention the 3-point shots that they make. They're 3rd in the country in 3-point percentage, which actually will help them a lot against the Longhorns here, who absolutely can't defend the perimeter here. And listen, I'm all for, Texas and some of the moves that they made here. They got Max Asmus in the offseason, signed him up, ready to roll. Congratulations there. But yeah, no, they are not in the Baylor Bears category. The new building in Waco that Baylor plays out of has been phenomenal. Kansas just learned, real tough place to play and to win games. Texas, unfortunately, is going to learn that here as well. I think Baylor absolutely rolls them and leaves no prisoners here.
By the way, Baylor here, I talked about to start the show today, 40-1 price before they took on Kansas here for the national championship odds at the FanDuel Sportsbook. They now sit at 30-1 in this one. I do also expect them to win this game tonight. I think Texas is an interesting matchup due to the 3-point line, but talk to me moving forward about Baylor. It's a pedigree program that wins a lot of basketball games and looks like they're playing their best basketball here late in the season, Joe.
Yeah, they really are. And again, I think it begins and ends with the guard play with Baylor, right? Ray J. Dennis, Jaden Nunn, both are shooting better than 40% from 3. They can absolutely, and as a matter of fact, they're still waiting to see. I believe Langston Love also will be available to them coming back here. So, I mean, this is a team where they will shoot you out of the gym at any point. But what I like about them is their ability to be able to get it down low and play physical basketball in the post, which is going to help them come any sort of Houston type of matchup or UConn type of matchup there. They will be able to go toe-to-toe. The only glaring issue that I see with them is sometimes their defense breaks down a little bit there, but they certainly can recover with their ability with the guard play to be able to shoot you out of the gym.
The ACC, Joe, going to take center stage tonight at 7 p.m. down on Tobacco Road. Why? It's Duke and NC State. Take a look at this game. Opened up at the FanDuel Sportsbook at 5.5 points. It still sits today at 5.5 points. A total also opened up at 149.5. Exactly the same today at 149.5. Is this a big game? Absolutely. But Duke must be completely focused here because if they want to get to Saturday's matchup at Cameron Indoor against the Tar Heels with a chance to win a share of the ACC, they must beat NC State tonight. They are a favorite. They are on the road. Joe, do the Duke Blue Devils handle their business tonight?
Well, listen, I mean, Duke is, we talked to Coach James Young earlier in the show, and he's not a big fan of the consistency here with Duke, and I don't trust them in a March Madness situation here. But the one thing that they've done really, really well is they don't beat themselves. And what I mean by that is they don't turn the ball over a lot. They are great in getting their offensive rebounds, which means their ability to be able to not only hold on and maintain possession, but get second chance points has really been what has done some teams in this year against Duke. They're very, very good. They've gotten more discipline as the season's gone on here. NC State, we know they can certainly shoot the ball. They prefer to slow it down if they have a lead, but I don't think they're going to have the lead. I think NC State is going to have to keep pushing pace here to try to keep up with Duke. And if that's the case, I like the over in this matchup here. I think we're going to get some points, especially with NC State at home.